Okay, so someone's wanting me to talk through the Trim Healthy Mama plan, and another person had asked what I'm eating right now. They said I looked good. I said, thank you, friend. Anyway, us mamas have to encourage each other. So I am doing Trim Healthy Mama. Here's what I can tell you so far, okay? I did Trim Healthy Mama, again, 2014 or so. I lost 40 pounds. I felt fantastic. I loved the food. And for me, that was also in the season where the very big blog that I built that brought Travis home in 2000, you know what, I say 2012, I'm sorry. Timelines, but you know, I got a lot of years here. This is how I keep straight when he came home. Amelia was born in February 2013. It was actually early 2013 that he came home. Okay, I'm really not trying to be a liar. I just know I launched the site in April 2012. He came home full time February 2013. Okay. And with that, again, I go back to the first month it made my grocery budget, next month it made my house payment. Thank you to ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. Get bacon for life. What could be better? New members will receive 1 pack of bacon in every box for the lifetime of their membership. Just a quick insider tip, you must enter your email to access this deal, and you'll also get free shipping. So just click the first link in the description below to get started. The third month it made as much as he made working 70 hours a week as a licensed electrician. So all that to say, that was also the times where like I was working my brains out. And I worked like that for 1.5 years. And so I knew as I was hiring out help, as I was struggling, and that's part of why he came home. It wasn't a situation where hiring an outside mother's helper was gonna help. I either needed to delete it, like light a match to the thing that I built, or he needed to come home and help me figure this out. And financially, because that is something grown-ups with kids have to consider, right? If this business that I made was making way more than him, just like if he had built a business, right? And I needed to support him, it made more sense for him to come home and us figure this out. How in the world? Okay. So believe it or not, that gets back to Trim Healthy Mama. 2013 into 2014, one of the things I did, and one of the questions in here I've gotten a lot of different ways, do you do anything for yourself? How do you find time for yourself? How do you recharge? So Trim Healthy Mama was like a gift to me during that time. I bought the original 600-page book that came out, and I read it like it was a novel. I just loved it. And I did so many of those recipes, and that became like my thing. And I just can't express how much I feel like that book became a friend to me. It had nothing to do with blogging, it had nothing to do with business, but it was all about taking care of me and helping me kind of find myself again after that incredible drinking from a fire hydrant was not on the radar business explosion experience. Okay, and so that's how much I love Trim Healthy Mama. Now, I did get off it, especially when we moved into the Forest House 2016, and I felt like pretty much the whole time we lived there. You know, everyone has struggles and things they deal with, right? And I certainly have my own, and I try to share as much as I can get my mouth open. I just had a lot of struggles there. And so, yes, some people can have flaming balls of fire struggles that they're dealing with and still stay on Trim Healthy Mama. But in the meantime, I was also working on selling that big blog. I don't know what else to call it, Flaming Fire. It was very successful, but it got to the point where, especially once I put in all those hours and once I developed systems and once I was able to hire a lot of that out to some local moms that I had trained, then it got to the point when I was playing around on YouTube where I was like, if I could sell that blog and get my equity out of it for all that time, then I can invest that in other parts to grow my business different ways. Okay, this relates to Trim Healthy Mama. Okay, this is who I am. So you got to hear the business stories along with the Trim Healthy Mama stories, along with the chicken stories, along with the baby stories, you know. So anyway, while I was at the Forest House, I did have parts of my channel that really started to grow, and I really dove creatively and also business-minded mama-wise into all the food, into the food packs, into the recipe development, into basically growing my business in a whole other way. So my work took on another intense level. And I also went through the business selling process, which to me felt just like putting a house up for sale, going for show, like selling a house is a big undertaking. And I also had Benjamin during all of that. And we had a lot of yeehaw stuff we were going through with the neighbors back there in that holler. And we were trying to find this property. And it just seemed like, although things were good, I guess we can get back to that original question. Tell us about some hard times. Things were good. There's not a lot of stuff we were dealing with. And somewhere in there, I felt like I was trying to do this stuff for myself. And no matter how hard I tried, I just could not get back on track with doing stuff for myself. Besides walking, hiking with my kids, you know, going on lots of walks. And it's not even that this is the things I want to be delicate about, because I'm not trying to do a whole diet culture thing. I'm just trying to talk about taking care of myself, right? Pregnancies, breastfeeding, postpartum, hormone fluctuations. You know, I'm a mom that when I'm breastfeeding, I've had it said to me a lot, oh, when you're breastfeeding, you know, the weight just comes right off. Well, it doesn't for me. I'm a mom that I gain weight while I'm breastfeeding. And guess what? Over the last 23 years, I think I've probably been breastfeeding 17 years of that. I mean, you know, there's been a lot of breastfeeding going on. And so I've either been pregnant or nursing, and also business stuff within it. So all that to say, the 4 years we lived at the Forest House kind of feels like a blur to me in some ways. So going back to January 2021, I was like, I am going back on Trim Healthy Mama. And I had a few good weeks at it. And then I ended up in the hospital with my kidney on IV antibiotics. We all know that story. We all got the video with it. Had to eat that hospital food. And actually, I was on it pretty good for those first 3 weeks. And then I was kind of off for a couple days with the hospital food and just trying to live. And so friends, as I'm filming this video again, I just reminded myself, I'm not where I want to be, but all part of the journey. So when I got out of the hospital, what I was working with at the time, I have the Trim Healthy Mama books, and it can be overwhelming because there's a lot of books. And again, my wonderful experience before was with the big 600-page book. And I couldn't find my copy of that, which has like all my little notes and highlighted parts. And some people don't care for that book because there's no pictures in it, but again, I just love that book. So anyway, and so now let's look at what goodies I got in my butcher box this month. So we got 3.63 pounds of organic chicken breast. With Butcher Box, you get 100% grass-fed and pasture-raised beef. You get free-range USDA certified organic chicken. We got some bacon. We're bringing home the bacon, right? Yay, bacon. Such as salmon, cod, and scallops. Butcher Box bacon is sourced from humanely raised pork and is uncured, nitrate-free, and sugar-free. Stew meat. This is 32 ounces, 2 pounds of grass-fed beef stew meat. And then making a big old Butcher Box pile here, huh? sweet Italian ground pork sausage. Yay. Looks like my little piggies that are out back now. With ButcherBox, you get a ton of flexibility. Box options and delivery frequencies that fit your needs. You can cancel anytime without a penalty. There's a ton of convenience with ButcherBox. Get great tasting, high quality meat that you can feel good about delivered right to your doorstep with free shipping. And with choosing your box and delivery frequency, they offer 5 boxes. There are 4 curated box options, and they also have their popular custom box, so you get exactly what you and your family loves. You get to enjoy high quality meat delivered to your door and more time for amazing meals together. With ButcherBox, get bacon for life. New members will receive 1 pack of bacon in every box for the lifetime of their membership. Just a quick tip, you must enter your email to access this deal. You'll also get free shipping, so click the first link in the description below to get started. I saw in the Trim Healthy Mama Facebook group, so the plan is created by 2 sisters, Pearl and Serene, and Pearl posted about their Trim Healthy Mama starter book. And I was, again, in 3rd trimester pregnant, trying to be on plan, trying to do what I needed to do to nourish the rest of the pregnancy, but on a lot of antibiotics and the kidney stuff. So the starter book, I believe it's only 50 recipes. Now it was recipes I had in all the other books, but it had the plan like in a nutshell, and it had these 50 like easiest and super popular recipes. Like if you did nothing but the recipes in that book alone, it can be life-changing, right? And so I sat for those 3 months on my corner of my couch in my stupor, and I tried to pick something from there when I had the energy. Like I would do the Trimtastic cupcakes, but I would do them in bulk. I would do very simple meals. A lot of the meals, and I know I haven't explained the plan to you yet, I'm sorry, but I'm taking you on the journey, okay? And a lot of the meals that I was doing are called crossover meals, which are really good for pregnancy and for nursing and for those who want to maintain or even need to gain weight. They are meals where you're mixing your fuels, you're mixing your carbs, and you're mixing your fats. And so my goal was to eat on-plan food, which the biggest components of the plan, like the 2 biggest things to start out, it's no sugar and no white flour. That's the start. And then you have meals that are called S meals, which are higher fat and small amount of carbs. Basically anything that's like, many of the things that are low carb and keto would qualify as an S meal. Although they do teach, you know, you don't necessarily have to pour on all the cheese and all the cream. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to listen, but I don't obey very well. So those are S meals. And then you want to have about a 3 or so hour window in between. Another style of meal is an E meal, where you have low fat and you have medium healthy carbs up to about 45 grams. There's also meals that are called fuel pools, which are lower carb and lower fat. Then there are the crossovers that kind of mix it all together. So I encourage you, if you're interested, you don't have to listen to me. There's a ton of information out there. But I want to share, because one of the questions I have received, I'm still here doing Q&A questions today, is folks want to know if I'm still doing Trim Healthy Mama, you know, what I'm eating, and if I can talk you all through. This particular request is if I can talk you through my Trim Healthy Mama journey. So January 2021, by the end of that month, I ordered the starter book just to try to narrow it down for me. I had the stack of the books, but I was overwhelmed by life in general. And so that starter book, I used it a lot. It was very helpful for me. And then I had Tobin on March 20th. Then about 6 weeks after that, we went on our first beach vacation in years. And I took my starter book with me, and I was doing THM stuff along the way, not separating my fuels at all. Again, I was making milk for my baby. I was healing from having a baby. It was all a big crossover. And then we get to August 2021, and I had all those months of antibiotics and all those months breastfeeding, and I was still just in crossover land, and I was fine with that because, again, I was not losing weight. I just was alive and eating food, but trying to stick, Trim Healthy Mama, and even if it was a crossover, it didn't matter at that point. I had my kidney procedure, and as I've shared, by September 2021, I started to feel human again. And so now, days of the week, now we are in May 2022. I feel like I've been trying. I was, again, very gentle with myself. Like Tobin just turned 1 3 months ago. And so when he turned 1, and naturally around that time, how much he's breastfeeding was changing. And I, of course, was not his main fuel and food source, and we were having transitions with that. And so around his birthday, I thought, okay, I think I can start separating my fuels again and try to, really get on Trim Healthy Mama more with weight loss in mind. And again, because I was gentle with myself, mixing those fuels, and that was okay, because I'm like, I don't need one more thing to be pressure. So I've been trying since his birthday to separate fuels. And I feel like I have not been doing a good job with it. And the reason being, because I spent a year in crossover land, which there are women who, are pregnant and breastfeeding and postpartum, and they still have times where they'll have an E meal or an S meal, or they separate their fuels out, and it works well for them. But again, for me, I didn't bother with that. And so that means a chicken, that means a meal could look like the chicken and the broccoli and the wild rice. Or if that was an S meal, it would look like just chicken and broccoli. And if that was an E meal, it would look like chicken and rice. And you can still have the broccoli, but it's not gonna have as much butter as I would like on it, right? And I'm not giving you totally good or perfect meal examples. This video is just gonna be very rough and raw with where I've been and where I am right now. And I don't have a lot of answers for you, but I'm answering that question, okay? And so what I decided to do, one of my good friends, Erin Odom, she's with thehumbledhomemaker.com. She has been a Trim Healthy Mama coach for quite a while. And I'm not trying to sell you on what Erin offers. Again, this is what I decided. Because I've tried, again, 3 some months. And I just felt like I have a good understanding of the plan all these years later, but I'm not living with my face in that book like it's saving me on many different levels in life, like I was doing in 2013 and 14 and 15. It's very much on the fly, and I can't think too much about it, right? And so I felt like, so Erin was starting this course, and I thought, well, that's stupid. I don't have time for a course. But I thought, you know what? I haven't done a THM course yet. And these are resources that are available now that were not resources many years ago. So there are Trim Healthy Mama coaches, and there are courses. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I need someone to just hold my hand now. I've been through a lot. I love the program. I need help thinking. And my hope was that with some very small tweaks, I could actually make a little progress, right? And again, not hyper weight loss focused, but healthy, right? And again, coming out of, I'm still breastfeeding, but not like it was. And so what could I be doing right now? So I signed up for Erin's course, and I signed up with a coach, Coach Lexi. Can't tell you what her last name is now, but I'll link you any links I can find down below. And so while I've been doing this course, I have also been working with a THM coach. So both of these things go together. So again, with the Jamboree, what do you do for yourself? And how do you, this is kind of my thing for me right now. And so one thing that I've learned is I had totally forgot about trying to have 3 hours or so in between eating, and it shouldn't go as long as 5. But the 3 hours allows my body to burn whatever the last fuel was that I gave it. And then I can switch the fuel whenever I eat again. So if I had an S meal for breakfast, which a lot of times I do, like the sauteed zucchini and the eggs, and then for lunch, which I'm getting ready to have, I will do a toasted sandwich and some lean turkey and whatever greens and peppers and stuff I can shove on the sandwich, probably a mustard, and then a bunch of strawberries. And then they have a THM chocolate milk, which is like almond milk and cocoa powder, and just some ways to get the protein. Every meal is centered in protein, and every meal, and they're not too big in numbers, but I need numbers as a bit of a guideline as I'm getting this worked out again. Every meal, it's about 20 grams of protein. And so I was not having the 3-hour window. I might have had an S meal, but then an hour and a half later, I might have had an on-plan snack. And then an hour and a half or so later, I would have lunch, but maybe it was an E and not an S. I wasn't doing my spacing. Okay. So over the last 6 weeks or so, it's come to my attention I needed to space. And I've been doing that. So that's a small tweak. And then another thing I've needed to do is actually my E-meals. Even though they were healthy carbs, they were higher than the 45 rough range that they have it. So I was just thinking anything that's an E, I'm just going to have it. So like I'll have a whole apple and 4 Wassa crackers and list all these E foods here. And so I was probably having like 67 or 75 carbs, even though they're healthy carbs, during that meal. So it's helped me become more mindful of that. So that is what I'm doing right now in answer to that question. I am still in the course. I'm finishing it up. I'm still working with a coach. The coach I'm sending her pictures of my food every day, and she's helping me get some things straight. Like I had this snack that I was eating, and it was 4 Wassa crackers with 2 light Laughing Cow cheeses spread out, and then like some lean turkey and strawberries and maybe a 000 yogurt. Anyway, I was thinking that was an S meal. Come to find out, with the amount of the 4, and they're the light rye Wassa crackers I was having, it was actually an E. And so again, not a huge thing, but I'm trying to be aware of what I'm doing. So my plan is, I also, just so many things. Also, with some skin things I have mentioned, I probably need to do a gluten-free, dairy-free season in life. And so being kind to myself right now, I'm just trying to get THM straight in my head. And then I plan, since they have coaches now, again, I have lots of people in my life who are gluten-free and people who are dairy-free, but I will probably work with a coach it's helpful to share every meal with someone and have them pick it apart or say how I could do different or improve. And so I'll probably work with them just to do one thing at a time. There are people who do Trim Healthy Mama that are gluten-free and dairy-free, or both. And so those are things in the future, but I'm not there yet. So hopefully that is helpful for you. If you have looked into Trim Healthy Mama, I've had a lot of ladies over the years tell me, I've done Trim Healthy Mama because you told me about it in 2014, or I have just loved the program. And there's been times people have asked me if I'm on it, and I'm like, I'm just not right now. I just can't. I feel like it is a program where you do have to invest in yourself, in that you need to read the book or do a course. The Facebook groups are phenomenal, and those are all free. You have to do some investing to get it straight in your head. And there are, like any dessert you would ever want, there are 6,000 Trim Healthy Mama recipes, thank you internet, that are out there. Again, a lot of the low carb and keto recipes that I have and offer would fit nicely into an S meal setting. But I want to continue with this for myself. I know there's a lot out there, but this is just a particular program that, again, it became my friend, kind of saved me in some ways many years ago, and it is something that I can do, you know, pregnant or breastfeeding and postpartum and through all the stages of life. And it's something that a lot of meals I can quickly adapt to what I need to do during that time based on what my family's doing. Even recently, we were doing sloppy joes, and I adapted the sloppy joes I was gonna do, which pretty much was just switching out the brown sugar that my recipe called for. We switched it out to the Swerve brown sugar, which is like a brown sugar substitute. So anyway, there are things that can be done and little tweaks here and there. So that's what I've been doing with Trim Healthy.
Thanks again to ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to get your Bacon for Life, where new members receive 1 pack of bacon in every box for the lifetime of their membership. Click the first link in the description below.